Welcome to the Business Choice Podcast, where each week we interview our top expert award winners from around the country who are leading the way in their industries and impacting their communities. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am so excited to introduce today's special guest. We have with us Quique Lopez, who is the founder of Panorama Press Marketing and Media, and they are a full-service marketing and advertising agency that does a ton of work in the home services spaces, but also works with everybody else. Quique, thank you so much for volunteering your time to be on the show today. I'm glad to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me, Chad. Glad to be
100%.
here.
So if you could just kind of give us a 90-second recap of, what your company is, kind of the services that you provide, and how you got into marketing. Might be a little bit more than 90 seconds, but do your best.
Well, we're full service marketing here in Atlanta. We service a lot of home services and construction companies, but we're in other stuff. So I'm right now at the Battery next to the Braves. So this is where we're
Nice.
located. We when we have a client, we keep a client because become their in-house marketing team. We're responsible for everything. If they have a great idea, they come to us and we make it happen. If there's a problem, they come to us and we try to fix it. So our clients, we just do month to month. We never have contracts. We have to deliver every month. And the good part is that most of my clients have been with me for many years. So,
Which is an amazing testament to the amount of services that you're providing. You can always tell the best marketing agencies based on the lifetime of their clients.
Yeah. And being able to evolve with the ever-changing technology and ways of marketing. So
let's maybe segue to that a little bit, because you're right. The world is changing right before our eyes, and it's going at a faster pace than we've ever seen in human history. Excuse me, in human history, with the advent of AI and technology. I'm curious where you see things going over the next 5 to 10 years and what you guys are doing to try and stay ahead of that for your clients.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you an AI?
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, man, it's getting to the point where we can't, the voices and people and things, that it's getting harder and harder to determine what's AI and not. But
it is. No, 100%. You don't know if I'm AI, if the voice on the phone is AI, they can copy your kids' voices. The content that you see every day. You don't know if that was a real person or that's truly their expertise or it was a GPT input. Very difficult.
But it's so good.
It's very good. It is.
We can't argue with it.
So how do you distinguish? How do you help your clients stand out from the crowd and from the oversaturation or deluge of content that's out there? Because that seems to me to be the biggest problem that maybe agencies and businesses alike are facing today. Is it's harder than ever to stand out.
Yeah, I think it comes with having a good relationship with the team of the company and being able to use all their different resources that they may not even be aware that are resources. And so hold on, lost my train of thought. Where was I?
Yeah, we were just talking about how we stand out in
I'm getting old,
the ever increasing marketing environment.
Yeah, right. And so we stand out by being that part of their business and being able to take them that, through the years and through the changes in technology. And so, from bulletin boards back in the 80s and posters and street teams and things like that to websites, social media, search, AI, SEO. The changing of SEO alone has just been crazy too. So
for sure, yeah, the whole game is changing right before our eyes, and the ability to stay ahead of that, especially in the marketing space and the lead generation space, is massive. I'm curious what you would say your superpower as a company is, and who your ideal clientele would look like.
the superpower. I guess the superpower is listening to the clients and being able to have an understanding of what really is going on, and what are the different resources that they have that they don't know about, how to maximize all the different things that they have to ultimately create a an ongoing consistent lead pipeline. So
Yeah. No,
ultimately that's you know
which is
oh,
huge. I mean, when it's all said and done, the dollars in the door is what matters for a business to survive.
yeah,
So it's a
yeah,
good superpower to have.
yeah. I mean, it's gotten us this far, so that would be a superpower.
Yeah. And as far as your ideal clientele, like if somebody were watching this and they were wanting to consider your marketing company or start a conversation with you, what types of businesses do you find have the most success in your marketing or your systems and strategies tend to do the best for?
Home services,
Hmm.
home services, and construction companies. So to what I was saying, the superpower, these all have people on the street. You have salespeople, you have the people actually doing the work, and you have all the surrounding aspects. And being able to utilize that, and with paid ads and social media and all that together. So that's pretty much um
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely. So it's we always find this in business is even though you can help everybody, you tend to attract one type more than others. And then once you start to learn that, referrals start to happen if you do good and word of mouth begins to spread and you start to kind of penetrate an industry more than others, which makes a lot of sense. Um, I'm curious how you distinguish yourself from your competitors. There's obviously quite a few other marketing agencies in the home services space. What does that
um
look like for you guys?
let's see, for me it's evolved. At this point I don't care.
Mhm.
I used to care about competitors and what are they doing, this, that, and the other. Now it evolved into something different, so I don't really think about them. I couldn't
Yeah,
tell you my competitors really.
tell me more about that. What has it evolved into?
um it's it's just letting word of mouth take it. You do a good job, people stay with you and they tell their friends. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Competitors, why you guys want to come and do what I have competition come all the time, but once they realize what the client wants, to go, I don't know, man, that's not going to help us scale.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So,
So,
I'd be curious to know then what the biggest challenges are you're facing in your business and industry right now, or maybe what the industry
oh
as a whole is facing.
yeah, well, challenge is trying to figure out what's going to happen with AI.
Yeah.
I mean, I was working, I've been in the evolution. I've seen the whole thing come through. I'm living it. All my process and procedures are evolving just to this point. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, the challenge is what is going to happen? What, I mean, how can I plan for this? And so I go back to what I was saying. Well, at least I can make good decisions with my clients, and that I become a part of their business. That is my company. Is it becomes an extension of their business, and that we will use AI to make good decisions, and I guess that's the way we're going to have to define it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would say 100% the biggest issue is the unknown. It's, you can
The
kind of see where
unknown.
things are trending, but they're progressing so quickly where it's trending maybe a totally different place in months from now versus years from now.
Websites, okay, the internet, it was all coming. We see our go, SEO, it evolves, and then this is, this is something else.
Yeah,
This,
it's a exponential uh, growth there, which wasn't necessarily the case before. You had time to be a little bit behind the eight ball and still be able to catch up in past days. And now
Oh
it's if
man.
you're behind even a little bit, you're gone.
Um, the funny part is like, okay, when this thing started coming out what a few years ago at the beginning, you saw all these companies using it and they're spending, oh, you'd have to spend a lot of money and they want you to spend a lot of money and then a contract. And at this point, I go, no way. What contract? I mean, no. What, $2,000 a month for some AI? A week later, the same services are what, $20 a month.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that crazy? It's
Yeah.
just
So,
crazy when you look at how the pricing structures around everything have
oh
changed.
man.
It's changing the structure of business and the way that you do your staffing and you make your decisions. It's there's so much that has to shift as a result of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I feel sorry really for new AI companies.
Yeah, I mean there's
They're killing each other. It's a
they are.
slaughterhouse, and they keep
It
coming, and there's more and more and more. And I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be.
it is.
And then the
Well, and
big
you
boys are coming.
well, they are, and you mentioned the referrals, and you mentioned not worrying about competitors. I will say one thing that I've seen. The psychology behind what makes a person want to refer has always kind of been the same, but the mechanism through which it's happening now is so different now that we have digital communities and there's so much more readily available information. We've started finding and talking with a lot of people in our industries as well that are very high level referral companies. Referrals aren't quite as powerful as they used to be, though there's a bigger need for them than ever before because people want that human connection. uh, they're going to search you before they even respond to the referral. And
Oh
if they can't
yeah,
find you online or what they find is not the best, they
yeah,
may not even respond or show up, let alone close. So now, they
yeah.
didn't used to have the Better Business Bureau or Google reviews or, all the different ways that they can search. And so now it's like, if they don't perceive you as the best because you're not there, it's slowly dying, even though the referral source may be incredibly powerful.
Well, you're still dealing. I mean, you're going to have to deal with the fraud part of it, and people doing fake reviews and other stuff.
Yep. And then consumers have to wade through that. And so
Right? Everybody's
it's a
scamming. They're scamming
yeah, it's an
everywhere.
in which then
So throw
increases
that
defense
into it.
mechanisms, and there's just it makes it tougher for everybody. So yeah, it's
It goes
definitely
back to the
changing quickly.
human part, though,
For sure.
of an actual. Hey, you hang out with somebody at a trade show and start talking, and this, that, and the other, and then that's where your referral comes in.
Yeah.
They
No, it's
start
I
chit chatting and talking, and here, let me get. Hey, how are you guys doing? Tell me. Well, you can
yeah.
talk to my guy. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and I would agree with that. I would agree with that in that referrals they're still powerful. I think what at in today's day and age, what seems to really be the catalyst for those referrals being the best lead is when they get referred by somebody that they're seeing with at a trade show or they're eating dinner with or
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
friend.
yep,
But then when they go research you online, they find all the
right,
information. They see that you're an author, they see that you've got a podcast, they see that you're a guest, that you're an expert in your if what they see online matches what the referral source said, referrals are going to scale for you in today's
yeah.
day and age with the interconnectedness of communities. So that's the biggest thing that we're finding is referral companies have to still show up, so that the perception is still there when the referral searches them.
Has to be a
So
conversation, right? At some point,
it,
a
it
good
very much.
conversation.
Very
So,
much so.
you know,
Even in our companies, we're finding that that's the case where, no matter how powerful the referral is, we still need to show up as the perceived expert based on what we have online. And when that happens, it's easy to get great business and be really impactful as a company.
yeah.
Otherwise, people just get lost. They don't know any different. Um, so,
Yeah.
um,
Well, people get also greedy and try to do too much. I don't mean greedy, but just overdo it and spread themselves thin and end up screwing everything up and trying to
that's true
grow so
too.
fast and saying, I just want to get more and more. And then nobody's happy.
Yep. No, that's very true as well. Then they don't get the retention rates that you have. So I'm
Yeah,
curious, a couple more questions before I move to what
sure.
I call the lightning round, which is where we get to learn a little bit more about you individually. what would you say is maybe the one thing that you're most proud of in your journey to where you're at today, as far as your business is concerned?
I would say my business started um, in the '80s, and I guess being able to survive through so many different things, that I
That's
would say
pretty
the time.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
almost a half
So
century.
yeah, it's crazy, and all the stuff that went in with our economy. 9/11, 2008, on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, that's talk about sustainability. Not a lot of businesses can say that they've been around for that long. I would say that far and away distinguishes you from any competitors is just the pure longevity of that business and how long it's been there. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that would be it. And and back to what we were just saying before, just trying not to go to do too much too fast and
Yeah,
be
yeah,
able
which
to
I think is
evolve.
very important.
Because back to the AI thing, you have these companies jumping all almost, it seems impulsive. Okay, let's just do a software company and start the blah, 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 and go through, spend a whole bunch of money in getting a software, whatever app, AI app, and,
Yeah, don't
a
even know how to
million
use
miles
it.
an hour.
Didn't
And
design
then,
it themselves and don't know how to fix it when it breaks. And yeah,
now
all of the
what?
above is exactly.
And you have and you borrow money.
Yeah, I mean, the industry is a little bit crazy right now. It's going to be interesting
Yeah.
to see how things shake out here in the next few years
Yeah.
as this thing continues to progress.
Yeah, man.
So,
So,
what I'd like to do at this point is maybe transition to what I call the lightning round. So this is where we get to learn a little bit more about you as a person. All of our, our viewers love to see the business and the unique elements of that. But we also love to learn about the person behind the curtain a little bit. So I'm going to ask you a few, maybe 5 to 7 rapid questions. Feel free just to respond with the first thing that comes to mind. You ready? Okay. Coffee or tea?
neither.
Neither. What would it be?
Water.
Okay, that's like the healthy option. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Cats or dogs?
Uh, Both.
Both. Okay, good. If you could grab one item during a zombie apocalypse, what would it be and why?
One item.
Just
Uh,
one.
does it include ammo? A good
Sure.
gun and some ammo.
I would say that's probably a good one. What's one quote or phrase that you think about often?
One quote or phrase. God, I don't really. That's hard.
It's a
I don't
tough one
know.
on the spot, right?
Yeah, I don't. I can't think of one phrase that I would think of regularly. I'm all over the place.
All right. Well, we'll come back to it. Maybe in the show notes we'll have it when it comes back up. Do you have a favorite guilty pleasure movie or streaming series that you like?
Uh, Old one, The Sopranos. Loved
Oh, The
it.
Sopranos. Okay, nice. That is an
Yeah,
old one. I've actually
yeah,
never even seen it, but I know of it.
yeah. I just don't. I don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's different with all the streaming services now.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
do you have a favorite book or podcast?
You know what? I'm all over the place. I can't say favorite anything.
Yeah, just
I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite song.
the flavor
You
of the
know,
day or the week.
hey, as it comes, it may be my favorite, and then it changes.
That's that's life, right? The only thing that doesn't change is change itself. Um,
Yes. Sorry
what?
about that fast, rapid fire.
No, no, it's good. It's good. So almost there then. So give me one bucket list item that you've already accomplished.
Just being here.
Okay.
I would say when I first started, if I could stay in business, a couple years, and they say, oh, the average business that lasts less than a year back then. I say if
Yeah.
I could just last 2 years. So there you go.
Well, there you
That was my
go.
bucket list.
We're far beyond that, so that's great.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
final question:
Sure.
what is one of the biggest obstacles you've ever had to overcome, and one lesson you learned from it?
Obstacles. It's been all obstacles, but
There's a book for you. Obstacle is the way.
well, um, I would say Opening a business with no money,
Yeah.
a retail restaurant thing, that was the hardest.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Restaurant, nightclub, all that kind of stuff was hard since I didn't know anything.
How long did it take you to get your feet under you on that?
Well, it was one step at a time. First, getting legal, you know, getting your licenses and stuff down in order, and just learning build out
Yeah. Yeah.
permits.
It's a
Horse trading. Like, where can I get a grill? I don't know where to get a grill. So
I give restaurant owners a lot of credit. That's a hard line
it
of
is
work with
crazy.
a
I can't
very
believe I
little
did
over,
it.
very little margins, and
Oh
it's
man, and
it's nutty.
everybody's stealing from you.
Yeah, it's that's a hard line of work to be in.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Kike, I appreciate you being on the show today and
Man,
sharing
thank
your
you.
expertise with us. I'm excited to put this in front of our audience. If anybody wanted to get in touch with you or collaborate with you in any way, shape, or form, whether that be with strategic partnerships or anything of that nature, what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, I guess email.
Email? Okay.
Yeah, it's QUIQUE at panoramapress.net.
That is easy to remember. I'll make sure to have it in the show notes. Well, Kike,
Cool.
thank you so much for your time
I
today.
appreciate it. Thank you.